Your Steve Jones Show podcast is loading now. The Steve Jones Show podcast is sponsored by Sunbury Motors, North 4th Street in Sunbury, and Sunbury Motors Kia, routes 11 and 15 in Hummel's Wharf.
This is the Steve Jones Show on News Radio 1070 WKOK. Now, from the Sunbury Motors Studio, here's Steve Jones.
And today's show brought to you by Sunbury Motors, 4th Street in Sunbury, Sunbury Motors Kia, routes 11 and 15, Hummel's Wharf, online at sunburymotors.com. Or Kia Hyundai, best in new inventory, great pre-owned inventory with the Sunbury Motors guarantee. Terrific service department that backs it up every step of the way at Sunbury Motors, 4th Street in Sunbury. Sunbury Motors Kia, routes 11 and 15, Hummel's Wharf, and online at sunburymotors.com. Time now for our weekly High School Football Roundtable. Hi, guys. How are you?
Great. How are you doing?
Great.
Yep, doing good, Steve.
Good. Great to have you guys on board here. All right, so let's get to last week. And for each of you, how would you evaluate? And we'll start with Lewisburg and Greg.
That was their best overall game of the year. They beat Central Columbia 20-3. On Central Columbia's opening drive, they probably drove it 40 yards, tried a field goal, made a field goal. From then on, Lewisburg held them to under 100 yards for the game until the game was well out of hand. And they got maybe 35, 40 yards in their last series throwing the ball. So defensively, they controlled the line of scrimmage. Offensively, that was their best balanced attack for the year. They had 140 yards rushing, and they had 120 yards passing. So it was fun to watch them play last week.
And that makes a big difference. I'm sure that puts a little added jump in the step at a practice.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, it was really fun to go to practice yesterday and watch them. They were laughing, having a good time. When I say they were enjoying themselves, laughing, having a good time, but they were being coached up and stuff like that. But they were crisp at practice last night. They did a nice job.
Can you be a little more critical of what's going on at a practice when you come off a win?
I think you can, Steve, because the kids now know what they need to do to win, and they enjoy the feeling of winning. I can remember what it felt like when I was back in high school, the feeling of winning after a week of practicing for an opponent. You know what you need to do, and they want to get better. And I think it was noticeably different last night.
Dave. They've played two really good teams back-to-back, but they've also given up 115 points in the two games combined. What are you seeing defensively?
Well, I thought they did a much better job against the pass with Selinsgrove. The quarterback, Pastor, had some receivers got open, but the ball was overthrown. The special teams gave up a punt return for the first touchdown to Tucker Teets, and really they had trouble controlling him. They really did. Selinsgrove, he's one heck of a back, and they have a good offensive line. And to be honest with you, I look at our defensive front, and most times I'm looking at two freshmen and a sophomore starting up front, and they're not big kids. So I am impressed with the fact that after Selinsgrove went up by 2 touchdowns, that Shikellamy came back and got a touchdown with a long pass to our little split end. And Jim Kaiser says he loves these kids. The coaches love them, and I can see why, because they just play. I mean, sometimes I remember when I coached basketball and everybody wanted us to play man-to-man, and I said, what happens if every man is better than every man that I have put on them? I'm going to lose, all right? Well, there's a lot of times that some teams have better players than you do, and right now Shikellamy dealing with that, but most of it has to deal with experience. I look at Luke Snyder. He's one of the senior leaders out there. He always has a good game. He's been around for 4 years, Steve, and he knows what he's got confidence. And I think that you're going to see a difference in the next couple of games with this team. The potential to put points on the board is there. It really is. They just need to get a couple of, and I think you would understand this, they have to get a couple of breaks go their way.
No doubt.
And it's something that we just kind of sitting back and waiting for. I was not bored watching the game. I really wasn't. I enjoyed watching Selinsgrove play, but I enjoyed our kids when they did well on offense.
Well, it's not just putting points on the board, but how much does the offense need to help to keep the defense off the field?
A lot. Basically, Shikellamy has to get a ground game going.
Yeah.
Some people pass the set up to run. Well, we need to run so that we get a better. So Brody has a better chance back there to throw the ball downfield. Mm-hmm. And right now. We really don't have like if they run a jet sweep or if they run a regular sweep, we haven't had the ability to get the kid outside. Most of the running has been off tackle, right up the middle, and Luke does a good job. But if that's something the defense always keys on, he's up against a brick wall a lot of times.
Greg, it's going to be Danville and Lewisburg this week. Danville coming off that 41-17 loss to Southern Columbia, or 40-17 loss to Southern Columbia. What do you think about this matchup this week?
I'm kind of excited about it, Steve, and the reason is last year we played Danville even up in the first half, and they had a good team last year. I think they were better last year than they are this year, but it's really the same style of offense that they're running this year. I'm excited to see him play because, like I said, I think these kids are looking forward to the challenge this week.
Yeah, because I watched some of the Danville Southern Columbia game last week. I watched some of that, about a quarter's worth I watched.
Yeah.
Could not run the ball. Or at least, in my opinion, didn't even try to run the ball.
I think they had minus 24 yards of rushing offense against them. Yes,
and they kept running everything out of the shotgun and wanting to throw the ball, and they couldn't get anywhere with it.
Right. Now, their quarterback was out last week. So
so that's what I mean. He was the number 2 guy.
Yeah, the number 2 guy. But he, the Johnson kid, he's a heck of a wide receiver. Well, he's a heck of an athlete. He's just a good athlete. So. It'll be interesting to see what they do if the quarterback will play this week or not.
It would be funny if Shikellamy had a home game and had to play it at Shamokin. All right.
That could have happened, Steve. Yeah. It could have happened. And thank goodness that that the company from New Jersey wants to get home, and they got everything done actually a week ahead of time. So we were happy for that.
And the field looks nice. It was great. I was down to the Selinsgrove Schick game, and the field is really nice.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that, because that's the first group of guys I ever heard that wanted to get home to New Jersey. All right, so
I said that kind of ironically. All right, so but anyway, because you got it. I purposely didn't take a job in New Jersey because of New Jersey.
Well, we're glad you didn't. Shamokin did win last week. They beat Central Mountain 27-14. All right, so what about this matchup? And how important would it be for Shikellamy to be the team that's in front at halftime?
Very much so. I think that they need to experience that, all right, and give them some confidence. And then they can come out, and I think they can manage the game a little bit different instead of always having to play from behind. I think Shamokin and Shikellamy are pretty close to being equals on the field, and I'm talking not just about size and ability, but I'm talking about underclassmen. I think Coach Persing, he has a freshman quarterback, and I think he's got quite a few freshmen that are playing other positions. So somebody said, were you surprised they beat Central Mountain? I said, well, Shikellamy should have beat Central Mountain. We really should have. And so I think it's going to be a good game. Since we're playing at Shikellamy, I'm hoping that helps our kids out. And like Kevin talks to Coach Kaiser every week, and Kevin asked him this question: when do your young kids become varsity players? And he said usually the 7th or 8th game. Yeah. Well, we're getting close, So I'm hoping that takes place. Not for Shikellamy. I hope Shamokin's kids are still 9th graders. All right.
Something that's happened since the pandemic: high school participation across the country in football is up 5 to 7%. What are you seeing in numbers in our area?
I think they're up.
Yeah.
I mean, Shikellami's numbers are up, and Selinsgrove I thought was up, and I think. Go ahead, Greg.
Yeah, Lewisburg's up. They had 48 kids out this year.
Good.
Our eighth grade. There are no ninth grade teams anymore, Steve.
Right.
That has gone by the wayside. I'm hoping maybe eventually we can come back to having a ninth grade team. But the eighth grade team at Shikellamy is like 35, 40 kids.
Yeah.
And it's, I'm telling you, Shikellamy, if this ninth grade class continues on and the eighth grade class that's there coming up, this could be the group of kids that finally help the Braves get back on track. And with those numbers, that's great because you always have the kids that quit playing, for certain reasons. And if you start with 20 and a lot of kids quit, all of a sudden you don't have many kids out. But I'm excited about the younger kids.
All right, so let's bring in Zach Showers now to talk about Selinsgrove. Same question to you. I mean, Zach, are you seeing greater numbers? Because nationally the trend is up 5 to 7%.
Yeah, I think generally speaking, Selinsgrove's numbers have been.
I think we lost him there. At least I lost him. Yeah. Hello, Zach.
I'm here. Do you got me?
There you go. Now
All
we
right.
got you. Thank you, Zach.
Yeah, as far as numbers, I would say they've been relatively consistent at Selinsgrove the past couple of years. This is not a real big ninth grade group. Sometimes you just have that across the board, but I know the junior high numbers are in a pretty healthy place. So overall, I feel like Selinsgrove has adequate numbers to compete at a high level at Quad A.
All right, so let's talk about last week because obviously won over Shikellamy. What did you think about the level of performance from Selinsgrove?
Overall, I was really pleased being able to play on a Saturday night. I know that was a concern of head coach Derek Hicks, just the kids getting out of routine and, everything that comes with playing a different night of the week. But overall, they showed up from the first snap for Shikellamy. I think they may have got one first down. And then as one of the guys mentioned, Tucker Teets was able to take back the opening punt, and then Selinsgrove really rolled. They were able to Schick was able to put a score together on a busted coverage in the secondary, and then after that, you really never felt the game was in doubt. Tucker Teets has just been an absolute beast. He had 113 yards on just 7 carries.
Yeah.
So they were able to get some other guys in. The leading rusher was actually a sophomore who had 157 yards on 9 carries. So they pretty much were just able to dominate up front, and you never felt like Shikellami's offense was able to remotely get on track short of a few big plays in the passing game.
All right, so now you get to this week's game. It's Mifflinburg, and Mifflinburg, of course, had a tough time with Jersey Shore. There's a lot of emotion at Jersey Shore, and they're playing with it right now, and they beat him 57-6. What's your thought on this matchup, which is the next one on the Selinsgrove list?
Yeah, I think it's an interesting one. Last year, Selinsgrove ended up losing 19-0 in a game that they had turnovers in the red zone and moved the ball and then got untimely penalties, and just a game where you felt like Selinsgrove, admittedly talking to Coach Hicks yesterday, Selinsgrove just didn't really show up last year. Against a pretty good Mifflinburg team. This year, Mifflinburg lost a ton from last year. They are primarily a passing team. They've thrown for over 2,000 yards on the season, but they don't really have any running game at all, and they're pretty one-dimensional. So it'll be interesting to see what Selinsgrove does. They are really on their, I'd say, third-string quarterback. Their quarterback from last year, Troy Dressler, who's a D1 baseball commit, due to some injuries, was moved to wide receiver. They brought in a sophomore who did a really good job the first 3 weeks, and then he got injured. So they were down to their third-string guy, and he had a really good game 2 weeks ago. And then last week, as Jersey Shore has done to a lot of teams in this area, just put a lot of pressure on them, and he threw 7 interceptions in that game. So I think Jersey Shore really put a blueprint on how to beat this Mifflinburg team. With a lot of pressure and forcing a young quarterback to make plays. Mifflinburg also has given up a ton of yards on the ground. They gave up 353 against Shamokin a couple weeks ago. Last week, Jersey Shore ran for 408 yards rushing. There's no secret at this point in the season. Selinsgrove is going to try to line up, and they want to run the ball with Tucker Teets. So I expect him to have a big night, and it's just a matter of how many yards he gets. If Selinsgrove can shut down that Mifflinburg attack, I think we could be looking at a similar game to the past 2 weeks.
Has Selinsgrove done a good job in the secondary keeping the ball in front of them?
Yeah, for the most part. Like I said, they gave up a 75-yard pass play last week. One of those plays where both the corner and the safety were supposed to run with their guys, and two really good seniors just had a little bit of miscommunication and let the guy, a really fast freshman receiver for Shikellamy get behind. But overall, they've done a nice job. I know Coach Hicks has talked, especially in the second half of the season, just continuing to get consistent on both sides of the ball. There's been a lot of splash plays, a lot of really good stretches, and then there's times where just some little things that you need to clean up. So right now, all eyes are on trying to get to Jersey Shore in Week 12, and it's a matter of continuing to get better every week, regardless of if it's a game where you're a touchdown or 2-touchdown favorite, or if you expect to really roll over a team.
Zach, always a pleasure. Appreciate you very much.
Absolutely. Thanks as always, Steve.
You bet. So Shamokin Shikellamy is on News Radio 1070 WKOK. Mifflinburg, Selinsgrove, Eagle 107, and Danville and Lewisburg on 100.9 The Valley. All three of our teams are playing at home on Friday night. We'll come back with more in a moment here on News Radio 1070 WKOK. Terry Francona is managing his final games in the majors. I know Phillies fans were not enamored with the job he did in Philadelphia, but he's the best manager I've seen in my lifetime with the Red Sox. And the big difference between his experience in Philadelphia and his experience in Boston is quite simple. Players. Okay? I know you think you had really great players when Terry Francona was your manager. I can tell you straight out with no uncertain terms, you did not. Okay. I mean, really, you really didn't. Oh, no, no, you didn't. Okay. Defend your team all you want. No. Okay. He goes to Boston, he's got players. He's got Pedro Martinez, he's got Manny Ramirez, he's got David Ortiz, he's got Kurt Schilling, got players. Makes a big difference. And then he knew how to manage those players. Won 2 World Series. And then he goes to Cleveland, and Cleveland doesn't have the players, the level of talent. Yet he got them to the playoffs a few times. Got them to the World Series. Guy's a terrific manager. Won over 2,000 games in his career. I know he's been going through some health issues. But he has put together a terrific career. And should be saluted as he manages his final games this weekend. Is he a Hall of Fame manager? I don't know. I mean, that's kind of a hard call to make. He's won 2 titles. I mean, that helps. And he did a great job with Cleveland in particular. But I don't know. It's like Bill Belichick won 6 Super Bowls. And with Cleveland, he did get to the playoffs. But he's like, well, his time in Cleveland was like, that's kind of like Francona's time in Philadelphia. Didn't have the players. It also means that maybe he didn't mesh well with the players either. But, yeah. The trade yesterday of Damian Lillard to Milwaukee. It's interesting how you've heard all these different places that Damian Lillard was supposed to go. Los Angeles, definitely Miami. Over and over again, Miami, Miami, Miami. I never once heard Milwaukee. I never once read Milwaukee until the trade was made yesterday, and it's Milwaukee. So, it's interesting. Lillard is at the stage of his career where I think he knows, like, hey, I badly want to win a title. This is my shot. So he's all for it. Because you do get to a point in your career where you've made enough money, but it's that ring that means so much, and that's where he is.
This is the Steve Jones Show on News Radio 1070 WKOK. Now, from the Sunbury Motors Studio, here's Steve Jones.
Today's show brought to you by Sunbury Motors, 4th Street in Sunbury. Sunbury Motors Kia, routes 11 and 15 in Hummel's Wharf, and online at sunburymotors.com. Ford Kia Hyundai, best in new inventory. Great pre-owned inventory with the Sunbury Motors guarantee. Terrific service department that backs it all up every step of the way. Routine, difficult. They handle it all at Sunbury Motors, 4th Street in Sunbury. Sunbury Motors Kia, routes 11 and 15 in Hummel's Wharf, and online at sunburymotors.com. Do we have the king?
Not right now. He has not called yet.
He has not called
Wait,
yet.
never mind. He's just calling right now.
He's calling as we speak. Very nice. Well done. Perfect timing, Caleb. All right. I don't know if Matt ever submitted his picks last week. If he didn't, he went 0 for the week. It's just the way it is. King.
How's it going?
Doing all right. Did Matt ever submit his picks last week?
Yes, he did.
How did
I just didn't know that he had them on my phone. So I wrote them in.
Okay.
He won the week.
He won the week.
So, yeah.
Well, his wife had a baby, so he won the week in a lot of ways.
Yeah. So, yeah, he was excited. It was he last week he went 6-5. I went 4-7, and you went 3-8.
Ooh, bad week for moi.
Well, it's tough. You still don't know who's good. So what that does is Matt is 26-17. He has taken the lead.
All right.
You're 25-18, so you're only one game behind them. And I'm, yeah. So call me the Red Sox.
Last place.
Yeah. I'm 16-26. But I'm very confident. I'm very confident 16-26.
Well done.
So I'm not taking any more chances. I got to catch up here. So.
But how about you brought up the Red Sox? All right, so we'll bypass that. We'll bypass that for a moment because it's they're 15th in payroll. The Yankees, the Mets, and the Padres, $880 million in payroll. And no playoffs for any one of those three teams. It's amazing.
No.
And that's a big problem.
No, they can all say that. You can put the Red Sox in that. I mean, that's this year. But the Red Sox have been in last place 3 out of the last 4 years.
Right, no, but I'm saying for the Players Association, they've been telling the owners if you spend money, you'll win. And when you've got the Orioles and the Rays in the bottom four easily in, and the top three in payroll easily out. That's not, if I'm the Players Association, I'm worried about that.
I would worry big time about it. Where are the Braves?
That's a good question. I think the Braves are 10th. I think they're 10th in payroll. And
they kind of spend, but they still depend on their trades and their farm system.
Yeah, I mean, look, they were able to get like Olsen to replace Freeman. That was huge. But you look at Albies, you look at Acuna, you look at Riley. I mean, they're just really good. Spencer Strider, they're just really good, and they've developed a lot of these players.
Are they homegrown? Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. That was really good. Yeah, I can play ball. So.
Yeah. I mean, they're just
I don't buy the 70 stolen base thing. That's kind of a asterisk record because isn't it easier to steal bases now?
Yeah, supposedly. Well, the bases are 4 inches larger than they were, which gives
That's
you
a lot.
Which gives you technically a 4-inch larger lead at first, and a 4-inch shorter path into second.
Well, no, it's a 2-inch larger lead.
Yeah.
If you're going from the center line of the base, it's 2 inches each way.
No, it's 4 inches your lead because the base is up against the line. It's not halfway.
Oh, okay. I got
you. Right. Now, 2 inches, you're correct on the other side, 2 inches at second base.
Okay, I got you.
But
that's a lot. I mean, how many guys get thrown out by a fingertip? You know.
I mean, Dave Roberts made it barely because Posada made a great throw on that play in 2004. It's one of the best throws I've ever seen Posada make. If you had today's bases, there really is no drama there. Roberts easily steals the base.
Right.
You know,
the other thing, though, is that pitchers can only throw over twice, right?
Right. Yep.
So that allows the base runner to get a bigger lead.
You can throw over a third time, but if you don't get him, the guy gets the base. So you are allowed to throw over a third time.
I like the new rules. The game is definitely you can watch, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
It was unwatchable before. So.
Yeah, and the best part to me was when they took the shifts out. Now you just feel like you're seeing baseball, seeing hits, seeing some action, some movement. I mean, something like that.
Oh, it's definitely a better game, and you know it's a better game because up to this point, anytime they tried to make rule changes, the players wouldn't do them. They were kind of like, and then eventually they didn't do it anymore, you know, where they're doing it. And it's because they're being enforced. So good for them. What's the other thing? And the minor leagues is very good because they try a lot of the stuff out. The younger pitchers, the stuff's no good. But what is not no good. It's no big deal because they've been doing it for a while in the minors. But the one thing I heard is this is the reason why the pitchers are only going 5 or 6 innings, because they're just rearing back and throwing. They don't have time to sit there and, you know, maybe I'll do this, maybe I'll do that. They're just like, look, I don't have time to mess around. I'm throwing a fastball, you know, and that the time clock is rushing the pitchers a bit, which is burning them out quicker in a game. So, makes sense.
I guess it is. I don't know. I'm not. It's interesting when you watch. So I'll do this from my experience in terms of the games I've announced. You'd be amazed at the pace with which a guy pitches when there's nobody on base. Where the game gets really bogged down, this is the games I've done. It gets bogged down the second somebody gets on base.
Even now?
Well, no, I'm just saying, it used to be.
Oh, right,
It was slower, more deliberate, step off. There was that one pitcher the Red Sox had. He's with him for a couple of years. He's from Japan. This is recently. I can't remember his name.
I know who you mean. Yeah.
Last year, they're playing the Yankees. He took 36 seconds between pitches with a guy on base.
Like, he averaged a half a minute every pitch. He was incredible to sit and watch. You'd be like, oh, my God. to watch a movie while you were watching them play.
It was just, I'm like, what are you doing? You're ruining the game. And what are you accomplishing? I don't see what you're accomplishing. Like, wait for what? Okay? Pitch the ball. Okay? At some point, you're going to have to throw it. How about now?
Well, you have to get in a rhythm, too, you know?
Well, that's not rhythm.
No, I know. There's no rhythm when you do that. And the ones who struggled went slower.
Oh,
you
sure.
know? If you're in a groove, you want the ball and you want to throw. If you're not in a groove, you're kind of like, I got to grind this out. But I mean, there's got to be a reason why. The average, I don't know what the numbers are. I just know that they're down.
Yeah.
I don't even know if there was a complete game this year, you know.
Well,
the no-hitters are down.
Garrett Cole threw a complete game last night.
Okay.
Yeah,
but I mean, it's far and few between, you know. It's not, that was the Red Sox problem this year. They couldn't get a starter until the fifth inning.
No, it's awful. Awful.
You know, and that's a fact. They had, except for the young guy, Bale.
Yeah, Bale's not
bizarre. He can't pitch at night. It's unbelievable. His ERA during the day games, 2.69, something like that. Nighttime, it doubles. He's in the fours.
Amazing.
It's like, why can't you pitch at night, you know?
Who knows?
Well, he's young. He's a good pitcher.
No, he's going to be good for them. And the guy I give credit to of all the pitchers in the majors is Kenley Jansen, who pitched really well for the Red Sox this year. Everybody thought the pitch clock would really hurt him because he was deliberate as all get out with both the Dodgers and the Braves. And he had no problem adapting. All right, hey, let's take a break. We've got picks to make, and you have Matt's picks. Okay?
Yes, I do. I got them all written in. So. All
right, all set to go. We'll come back with the picks in a moment on News Radio 1070 WKOK. All right, here we go. Lots of games to pick here today. All right. See if we can all catch Matt. Find out if this is the big come from behind week for you. I'm telling you, this is it.
I'm like stoked this week.
All right, so we'll start college since we have the college theme up. Tomorrow night, Oregon State and Utah.
I got Utah. Matt has Utah.
I have Utah as well. That's a really good team, and by the end of the year when they get Cam Rising back, they're going to be even better. Colorado at home with USC. 10 a.m. 10 a.m. Boulder time.
Get a calculator. I think USC is going to put up 70 points on them. Oh.
Colorado's defense, not good. No doubt. Look, through the first three games, you can cover up a lot of your deficiencies. You can kind of work around them, cover it up. But what happens is everybody gets tape of you, and they can see your deficiencies. Colorado will score in this game. I'll bet Colorado scores at least 28 points in this game because USC's defense is no better than okay. Oh, USC's defense is no better than okay.
Defense is suspect, but I watched the game. I mean, they had nothing against Oregon. Is Oregon that good?
Oregon's
the quarterback, I loved the Bo. I knew Bo. What's his name?
Bo Nix. Yep.
Because of his name. When he was a freshman, I said, this guy's going to win the Heisman Trophy because his name is cool. But he is a very, very good quarterback. He's going to be a good pro.
But USC's going to break 60 with Caleb Williams. They'll win the game easily.
Yeah, it's not even going to be competitive. I mean, Sanders' son, I forgot his first name, but
Shedeur Sanders, he's very good.
He's a very good athlete. He's going to be a good quarterback. He's a good quarterback now. But he was running for his life last week. I mean, they could not block at all, and the kid was running for his life. He's good. His brother's good. They'll both be in the NFL. So, I mean, they've got good players, Colorado. They're going to be I mean, Dion can coach. I don't like the sunglass stuff. I don't like all that. And I think they got very humbled last week. So let's see what they do with it. So.
LSU Ole Miss.
I got LSU. Matt's got LSU.
Yeah, I've got LSU.
Yeah, we're all the same on this.
Ole Miss kind of last week showed nothing against Alabama. Tennessee,
Right.
South Carolina.
Good game.
Yeah, really, it's a very good game. My question is, where's that game being played? You got it at South Carolina?
I put South Carolina. I got South Carolina. Tennessee got one. Didn't Tennessee get their butts kicked last week?
The game's in Knoxville. I'm going to go with Tennessee.
Okay. Matt's got South Carolina.
Yeah, I'm going to take Tennessee. Syracuse and Clemson.
Another good game.
Yeah.
I got the Orangemen.
I'm going to take Clemson.
Matt has Syracuse also.
I still think there's something in the tank there at Clemson.
I mean, I can add one more game. I missed one. Notre Dame and Duke.
Oh, yeah, I'll take Duke.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. I mean, look what they did to UConn last week.
Yeah, I know.
So I'll text Matt. He's got to pick Notre Dame
He'll
too.
pick
He's a
Notre
big Notre
Dame.
Dame
What the
fan.
heck? Nah, he'll pick Notre Dame. Then he'll pace the entire night.
I'm going to take Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame is still very good. But I mean, that comes right down to the end.
But I think Duke's
Duke
better than
is
people
very
realize.
good.
Yep.
So you got Duke. I'll have Matt pick it. I know he's going to pick Notre Dame. So.
Miami Buffalo in the NFL.
Great game.
Yeah.
I think I got Miami.
I'm going to take Buffalo.
I think you're taking Buffalo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yep. Well, hey, they're playing at home, and my problem with Buffalo is their defense is suspect. And
Miami's offense is not.
Throws the ball around.
So
you
one of the
cannot
scouts
turn the ball over. Huh?
I got to tell you, one of the scouts for the Dolphins was at practice on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And I walked up to him. I said, "Are you looking for a couple of guys to allow you to break 80?" So I said to him.
I just think the way the quarterback turns the ball over for Buffalo, you can't do that against a offense like Miami and give him that many shots. And if he keeps turning the ball over the way he is, they're nothing more than the 500 team. So.
Detroit at Green Bay tonight.
I got the Pack.
I got the Pack tonight, too. Why not?
Jordan Love. The kid's good.
He's done a good job.
He's not a kid anymore. I mean, he's been around for a while.
Right. I mean, way better than I thought it would be. Baltimore at Cleveland.
Well, hang on. Matt's got Detroit.
He's got Detroit, yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Baltimore at Cleveland. Suddenly, out of nowhere, Deshaun Watson remembered how to play quarterback.
Exactly. I got screwed by him last week on 2 polls. Yeah, that's okay. Maybe he slept on it and said, "Boy, I was stupid." So I took Cleveland.
I'll take Cleveland.
Baltimore
as well.
is not impressed this year.
No.
So you got Cleveland?
I'll take Cleveland.
Matt has Baltimore. So if we're going to catch up to Matt, well, you're only a game behind him anyway. This is the week because there's a lot of different ones.
Time now for the Over Bowl. Broncos are 0-3. The Bears are 0-3.
Yeah, it's a great game. I mean, I pick games where they're even with each other. So.
I'm going to take, I know, Michelle, you're going to kill me for this, Denver.
I got Denver. Matt's got Chicago. Chicago's the worst team in football, arguably one of the worst teams ever. I mean, their team hates themselves, so that's a tough one. Yeah. I mean, Denver, I think, will bounce back. Sean Payton's too good of a coach to lose
And finally,
like that.
at Lucas Oil, the Rams and the Colts.
Oh, another good game. I'm going on a limb and taking Indianapolis.
Gardner Minshew running the show. Matthew Stafford has thrown 2 touchdowns this season and 4 interceptions.
Yeah.
Really?
He's like the Buffalo quarterback. He's throwing to the other team. They're nice passes, too.
Yeah, I mean, really well thrown. I mean, but they don't have...
Catching them on the stride.
His problem is they don't have Cooper Kupp. They don't have Tyler Higbee. They've got guys that are out. But I'm still going to take the Rams in this one on the road.
All right. You know, one thing I noticed, when these guys get, like, wicked famous and they start doing commercials, you could keep Mahomes out of it, but they seem to start to fail, you know? So, how about the Taylor Swift thing?
It's brought a little extra
cool
juice to the NFL.
Oh, it's brilliant. It's brilliant marketing. Kelsey's got 210,000 followers now. That's hilarious. Oh.
Yeah. And now NBC is stuck with that Jets-Chiefs game on Sunday night because they scheduled it. They scheduled it because they thought that Rodgers would be playing. Right?
But Taylor Swift will be there,
so
which means
she's replacing Aaron Rodgers.
Oh my God, she is just, this girl has such a draw. It's incredible. And you're going to have people watching football who never saw football in their life because she's there. And the NFL loves it.